Got my list of disjointed talking points.
Yes.
Including but not limited to Leonard.
Okay.
Assessment?
It's getting so good.
Yeah.
It's getting good. Like, okay. Oh, I don't even know where to start. So I guess I'll just... What year is it? So, yeah, it's very interesting that when they call each other, it's all on, like, landlines.
Yeah.
You would think that if this were more modern, they'd be using cell phones. They'd have a much more direct way of communicating with each other. But at the same time, it feels so current.
Yeah.
And I'm going to draw from something that may seem a little odd. But I've never seen the show. But the book, 13 Reasons Why, the premise doesn't really matter in this context, but for a little bit of background, it's a girl commits suicide. But she sends out audio tapes to individual people that she feels are in some way responsible for her making the choice to commit suicide.
Right.
But in order to make the book feel relevant and timeless at the same time, the author specifically chose audio tape.
Okay.
Now, in this day and age, I don't know that really works. But it's the same concept that you use older technology because it could be indicative of the age of when it occurred, or it could be a callback to a vintage, nostalgic sort of thing. So I'm really interested in the fact that nobody in the shows nobody in this show uses cell phones. It's all landline.
I saw a video not too long ago about like an analysis on a show, or maybe it was a kill count or something, but
on this show?
No, just on a show. It might have been about a series of unfortunate events that was talking about how they built it in such a way that had like classic cars and older style this, but then like modern clothes or modern euphemisms and manners of speaking that made it feel timeless, but also just like it was very ambiguous.
Yeah.
And I'm getting that vibe from this show too. Like,
definitely. Most definitely. Like,
any cell phone is going to date a show. You know, if you show me any cell phone from the last 20 years, I'd be able to pinpoint it within probably 5 years.
Have they been around for 20 years? Holy shit.
Well, I mean, cell phones have been around for 40 years technically, but...
Damn. But yeah, the fact that the show makes itself seem so timeless.
Yeah.
And the fact that it also deals with time jumping.
Yeah.
So what year is it? I mean, here's the other thing. The way that Allison dresses is very modern. Like,
Very
to
modern.
this time.
Especially with her red carpet scene from the pilot.
yeah.
That
And-
felt extremely modern.
Yeah, and, the fact that she, saw the tabloid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, that in and of itself could be considered timeless, but at least in a more modern age. But the way she dresses is very modern,
Mm-hmm.
like to this time. But the fact that nobody uses cell phones is also very indicative. So that's very interesting.
The cars seem to vary between like all the way from 50s to 80s, push to 90s.
Yeah.
Um,
But we know that they were all born in 89.
right.
So we do have a timeline.
We do, because they're 28 now.
Yeah. So that means if they were born in 1989 and they're 28.
It's early 2010s, 2012, 2013.
So why with no cell phones?
I mean, there's an easy answer, which is cell phones make storytelling difficult.
Sure.
Because if you could have characters communicate with each other, then so many conflicts are resolved.
Sure.
And it keeps the show more timeless feeling. Okay, they put a date on the birth, but, whatever.
Messages can come into any place in time.
Yeah, so we made this realization that Hazel and Cha-Cha, we were debating in the last couple episodes about, okay, are these hotel rooms are going to, like, specific for them because they have these air chutes where they can receive messages like they're at a bank drive-thru, and it seems like probably not. It's just a matter of these things travel through space and time, and wherever they are, the messages can come in.
Yeah, and that hurts my head. By the way, the woman that keeps talking to 5,
Yeah, the handler.
Kate Walsh.
Who's Kate Walsh? I was trying to pinpoint the actress.
I know her from the very few episodes of Grey's Anatomy that I watched. She had previously been married to the Dr. McDreamy or whatever, like the Patrick, whoever character.
Sure.
The actor's Patrick. Cannot remember his last name right now. And he died.
Right.
In the show. But yeah, she was his ex-wife. That's where I know her from. And then she had this spin-off Private Practice.
Oh. I vaguely remember that.
In that show, in Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice, she was a redhead.
Oh.
I only know this because I saw it on IMDb before I actually saw her character.
What? You had to consult IMDb? That's shocking.
I saw it. I didn't consult it. I saw it.
Okay.
And honestly, I don't know that I would have been able to place her. So she clearly has something to do with all of that. Like, she's the leader, and if I was like, well, I'm going to kill you, and she's like, well, you can kill me, but there's going to be somebody else to take my place.
Yeah,
so,
I actually think she is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
She seemed to imply she's not the leader. She's just the point of contact handler.
well, it's... On the one hand, it seems very Hydra, but on the other hand, it seems very ethereal.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, she stopped time when a bullet was halfway to its target. Like, really? You're training a gun on her right now? Come on.
Right? Salt her coffee. And then she got called out for it. So...
Yeah, I jotted down, did she just salt her coffee? Mm-hmm. And then Lauren's like, did you just salt your coffee? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Not much there. Klaus jumped into Vietnam for a year.
Right.
When was the last time he had drugs? Maybe
Which-
Vietnam. To be fair, let's.
All the morphine. But he's back on drugs. Like, since he got back,
Yeah, he
was-
was. Yeah.
which is kind of a bummer because it's like it seemed like it would have been a forced detox.
Klaus is just a very interesting character to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't help that the beginning of this show, every time we see a Netflix original, we were yeah. And the boy in that show was named Klaus. Doesn't help things, by
Good
the
point.
way. But in the ice cream truck, he saw Ben. Ben was in the ice cream truck.
Which would imply a certain level of sobriety, but
Yeah,
Ben
but
persists.
Yeah, I think Ben.
He's the first one he sees.
Yeah, so there's some deeper connection there. Like, I think that he probably sees Ben all the time, regardless if he's inebriated or not.
I feel like he might be able to get to a level of high where he doesn't see Ben, but he's got to be like tripping balls.
It's got to be mostly dead.
Yeah. But yeah, Ben's the first one he sees. Ben was in the truck with him. But yeah, okay.
Did Leonard kill Helen?
Oh.
Most
Oh
definitely.
yeah, okay.
Yes.
I wrote that down and then, hi, Helen's in Leonard's attic.
Luther looks like Philip Rivers. He does, and I can't unsee it.
Leonard is Philip Rivers.
No, not Leonard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Luther.
Luther, yeah. Oh, can't unsee it. Real quick, going back to Vietnam for a sec. I loved the ice cream truck playing Flight of the Valkyries. That was so freaking beautiful.
Oh, and it really pissed me off that the good old boys in the VFA, or VFW, rather, VFA, and the VFW were like, you don't belong here, blah, blah, blah. It's like, there were other wars rather than Vietnam.
True.
I mean, the guy, so yeah, Klaus looks young and he's eccentric, but, I mean, he could have been Afghanistan. He absolutely could have been Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So where the fuck do you get off calling him out for, oh, you don't belong here?
It's funny.
Fuck you.
It's funny because when I think of VFW, my mind immediately goes to King of the Hill. Because they talked about Cotton being at the VFW for a while. And there was an episode where the World War II vets were having an issue with allowing the Vietnam vets in. It seems like the VFW is a very cliquey thing where you don't count, you weren't where I was, you don't know what it was like. So I think there might be, I got a pull from King of the Hill, I think there may have been some truth there. It's a cliquey thing. So yes, Klaus's age does not prevent him from being a veteran of a foreign war. But that doesn't mean they may not have felt that way. Which, yeah, okay, maybe you're still an asshole for saying it, but I think it may be still realistic and true to life.
Vanya Power. Yeah.
Yeah.
What the actual?
And
She's off her meds. She plays the violin, and there's clearly some Force.
Yeah, the
And when she
waviness.
and Leonard were getting a little intimate, there was something. And that's
Yeah.
when we saw Helen
Mhm.
dead in the attic, which is just
Freaky.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what's Leonard's play? Like,
He's either just super obsessive, which is possible but not that interesting, or he's trying to bring something out of Vanya.
but we saw the shimmer can move into the kid's house.
Which kid?
The kids.
Oh, the mansion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the mansion. And Pogo and Grace.
Well, let's not jump there yet. That's
Well,
I think
yeah, but it's kind of related
true.
because that force went
It
into the
went
mansion
there.
into that last scene.
Yeah. So it came out of Vanya when she was playing the violin.
And when she was, getting diggy with Leonard.
So is it something about
Well, she's not on her meds.
when she's not on her meds and she's doing something she's passionate about?
Euphoric.
Maybe. And it brings euphoria to others because the teacher was not impressed initially, right? Until the power hit him and then suddenly he went,
Yeah.
I think that was related. I think that was her power affecting the judge, teacher, whatever.
So why suppress that? I mean, we said from the beginning there's something.
Euphoria is a dangerous thing.
And you posited that maybe Allison used her power on Vanya.
Mm.
But Allison hasn't really indicated much that she's aware of this. You could argue that her suspicions of Leonard could be just to deter Vanya from experiencing some kind of a euphoria. But I almost wonder if her father forced her to do it on herself, like via a mirror.
You're wondering if Allison did I heard a rumor to herself?
Yeah. Like, if he made her do it to Vanya and then do it to herself so that she wouldn't remember that she did it to Vanya.
Ah. Everything's on the table. I mean, maybe.
I just think that would be a very cool little twist.
Yeah, because Allison hasn't given any indication that she knows anything that's up with Vanya.
Yeah. Leonard?
Yes. Leonard? I don't know what that note was.
Did Pogo kill Reginald?
So that was born of the last scene, and you started to bring it up when Vanya's wavy power got to the mansion, and I don't know if it influenced Pogo and Grace or if it just kind of led us there. But Pogo repaired Grace, asked if she remembered what happened, and said, "Don't tell the kids." What did he say? I'm trying to remember now.
I think he said, "But do you remember Or do you remember everything? Something.
Have you told
Implying that she knows everything that happened. You cannot tell the kids. Pause. Okay.
And he said, good. Pogo would be a hell of a heel turn. If it turns out Pogo's the bad guy in all this, it fits. Yeah, I know, you don't want to hate Pogo, but it fits so well. It would be such a great villain turn. You know, he's been saying how much he owes to Reginald and all this.
But he... Okay. So here's the thing. He was more a father figure to the kids than Reginald ever was.
Yeah.
Could be a case of he got too attached. Or, follow me.
Oh, I'm with you. I'm roped in.
He knows what's going to happen. And he knows he needs to get all the kids together in order to prevent it happening. And the only way to get the kids together is the death of the father. So, kills the father, orchestrates all the kids getting together. I mean, the name of the first episode was "We Only Get Together for Weddings and Funerals," or something to that effect.
Yeah, I would.
And he programmed Grace to do it.
Right.
Because he wasn't on the video.
That much I'm convinced of. That he programmed Grace to kill Reginald. I think that seems pretty certain. Now...
And it could be twofold. Like, there's a terrible thing about to happen. I need to get all the kids together. And also, this guy was a dick to the kids. And it could be a dual vengeance and getting them together thing.
Which doesn't explain why he fed Alice in the video of Grace presumably killing Reginald. I mean, it's covering his own tracks, and maybe he thought that would lead to Grace being shut down, which would further cover his tracks, but then he woke her back up. But I am very much feeling the theory that he programmed Grace to kill Reginald. For whatever reason.
Well, what happens when you reboot?
Is he gonna...
You're in IT.
He purged her cache.
But again, he asked her what she remembered.
Yeah. Which means...
But it could be a false memory.
Could be. Yeah. Maybe he just finished reprogramming her with the thought that she did it of her own accord. Maybe he purged the memory of, him programming her, essentially. What was I going to say?
When she was the way she was kind of acting with the kids, it was like, what happened? Dad died.
Right.
So he may have reprogrammed her to a spot prior to what happened.
Safe mode, if you will.
But That's the list.
Did Reginald, no. Has Pogo shown up in any of the flashbacks?
Not that I've seen.
So I'm wondering when he came about.
I almost wonder if he's a manifestation of Reginald.
Like export his own memory kind of a thing? Download his brain?
Again, he's been more of a father figure to the kids than Reginald. Reginald was like... Holy shit. What if Reginald is a robot too? And Pogo has been the one orchestrating the whole thing.
Oh. Oh my. You're wondering if Reginald is a creation of Pogo's.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Because we don't know.
Anything that happened prior to 88.
And we don't know how Pogo was created, if he was created by Reginald. But what if he's from the future?
Sure. Planet of the Apes status again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's asked the question, where the hell did Pogo come from? At all. That has not been even questioned.
And I suspect that Luther has some Pogo in him. So if that's the case, then why
Oh.
do that?
Hell, is it raining? Whatever. If they have a serum to bring people back from the dead that Pogo had, was it a serum developed in the future, but it would have been based off of the monkeys that now rule,
Yeah.
which is why it affected Luther the way it did? That actually might feed into your theory.
Yeah. Feels so smart right now.
Big brain status.
I'm on to you, Gerard Way. Actually, I don't know that he actually did any of the writing. He might have just done the artwork. I don't know. Because, you know, the artwork that he did for, or the artwork on the album for... I can't remember the name of the album. But the first, with Helena and I'm Not Okay.
Okay.
That album.
Yeah.
He did the artwork for it.
Oh.
So this is a comic. And it's him and this, Gabriel Ba.
Okay.
So, who did the writing, who did the art?
If only there were a way.
Yeah.
Way. Yeah, but I don't feel like looking it up.
I'm tired. So.
Is that everything?
I'm still surprised we haven't seen Allison use her power yet.
I'm waiting for it. They must be saving it. Because, I mean, it's a pretty freaking powerful power.
And I almost expected her to use it on Vanya in their last scene together.
Yeah. Yeah, she's holding out for something big. And clearly it's a part of her therapy, you know, try to get her kid back. That's a pretty big motivator, I'm sure. But we're gonna see it. It might be the last episode of the season, but we'll see it.
No, it's picked up. It's good. I like it.
I really enjoyed Fight of the Valkyries. That was just so beautiful. Yeah, that was amazing.
In ice cream truck form.
Exactly. Fantastic. All right.